I'm the site officer for Talon Games Hope and Carifran. We're working with the Borders Forrest Trust. I've worked for the Borders Forrest Trust for nearly 8 years. And here we are at Talon Games Hope, planting with all you guys from the Borders College. We're planting hazels, oaks and birch. It's so important to be planting on here. This site, I should say before I say that, is that this site was bought in 2013 and it's part of the Wild Heart site, which covers 32 square kilometres. And across our sites we've planted over 2 million trees, but we've probably got space for another million to go here. And it's so important because the Scottish Borders is probably the most denuded place in the UK, which is the UK is also the most deforested country in Europe. We have the lowest biodiversity level in the world. We're on an ecological crisis point. We have to start working with nature and creating these places of large-scale ecological restoration, so that we can again have the wildlife and the plants to mitigate against a lot of the crisis that is happening at the moment. The insects can come back. I mean, at Carifran now we've got over 180 different bird species have moved in from what was originally in the valley. When we surveyed it, we had probably a handful of different bird species. Now to have nearly 200 different bird species is just incredible in just over 20 years. And that just shows how quickly it can be done, how easy it is to restore land, but you have to do it. You have to be proactive. And here, the planting here is so important. As you can see, the hills in the background are just bare hills, and we're so used to seeing that. And we love the hills. We think the hills look beautiful. And what we don't realise, it is the case of the Emperor's new clothes, that when you realise it's an industrialised landscape, shipwrecked, bitten to the quick is the terminology that a lot of people use, and it suddenly becomes tragic to realise that this was all forested. We do pollen core samples through the peatlands, and everywhere we found that it was all forested. All this would have been ancient oak forest, which would have given you full of creatures, full of everything you could ever imagine, and we've let it all go. And so now is important. It's really important at this point in time to start working and returning the landscape to how it was.
And what are the Borders College students doing today?
Today they're busy planting. We've got planting bare-rooted trees that we got from a local nursery. Well, not local to here, but a little community nursery, I should say, in Galloway and at Cree Valley. And they're planting birch, some very big birch. He's putting one in there, and they're doing it very well. Birch, oaks, and hazels. And see, we already have on this part of the site, we've got some regenerating rowans, which are coming down from the tops because there was some remnant rowans left in the klooks, and every year the field fairs come en masse and spread the seeds around. So we're actually getting, unlike Carifran where we had very little immediate regeneration of any trees, here we're getting a lot of rowan regen, but just to backfill it, so we've got a diversification of trees in here is really important. So we're going through this whole area with nice mixture of oaks, mostly oaks, birch and rowan. Yeah.
And how have the group been?
Yeah, good. They've got it pretty quickly, actually, to be honest. I've been with older groups and they've never just don't get it. It's interesting, isn't it? You think it's quite a simple process, but to see how they've progressed and how they listened and done it, it's been really good. Really, really, really good. Yeah. There's not one I've had to go back twice and say you've made it. Yeah, once they're told, they seem to be getting it really well.
My name's CJ. I've been planting trees today. We're in the middle of nowhere. Actually, we've got a very nice view up on the hills. We're planting trees, lots of vulnerable trees, and we've planted like 300, 400 kind of racket, which is great, but it's cold.